Hello, welcome to episode 71 of Draft Offsides. I'm with just Enzo, and my name is Keefe. No
Yeah.
Tico, we're doing a quickie. Tico got something going on, so we're just gonna bust through it.
hmm
Because of that, no studs and duds. We're just trying to make this quick. It's a short week. Post Christmas. How you feeling after those games, Enzo?
Not good because Tottenham lost to Nottingham Forest, but honestly, they're on fucking tear. So, it is what it is. But fantasy-wise, I just not even surprised anymore. I'm just going to keep
But
going.
just keep winning.
Just keep winning.
Hey, it's not bad. I think the other big news is that we finally won a parlay.
You? Yeah, man. And it's funny enough, it came from you. It came from you.
Well, I was bitching so much. You mean?
Yeah, well, I get it, though. I get where you're coming from. But you came in and you did a 4-game parlay and you smashed it.
Hey, works. We'll see if we can get a
now
repeat.
we've got two wins.
Yeah. Two in 17 game weeks. Absolute disgrace. So we're gonna do it a little different. We're just gonna review a few games, and we're just gonna talk about some key moments and some important stuff. This week, the thing that stuck with me the most is the amount of red cards.
Red cards. And late, too.
It was like the red wedding of soccer weeks.
Yeah, no, and it's good for some fantasy owners, and it's a little bit rough for some others, especially in this short game week. It's already going to be rough.
Yes, exactly. Okay, should we get into games and we can kind of talk about the Reds as they come?
Yep.
And everything else. All right, first one, City 1, Everton 1. Is this even a surprise anymore? I guess the only surprise is that City didn't lose.
Yeah, I did bet on them to draw, so I was happy with this one. But
you should have just left it at that.
I should have just left it at that, mate. But yeah, I think Everton's new name's going to be Ever 1 point is good enough because they just get 1 point, they're good.
If they get 1 point if they draw every single game for the rest of the season, they're safe.
They're safe, man. And Haaland missed that penalty, which was crazy. So I'm back on the Pickford train. I'm sorry, that guy's a psycho. I'm back on it.
Did you see that what he was doing with his eyes before the penalty?
He's such a psycho, bro.
He's just doing the craziest things.
Yeah, he's a psycho. Love him.
How did he end up scoring wise? I bet he was pretty good.
I didn't check, but he didn't get a clean sheet. But I know he had several saves because C was peppering.
Yeah, 18.25.
Yeah.
I guess you get some points for the save penalty.
I think it's like 6 points or 7 points.
Yeah, something like that. 4 saves. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a week. He's I think now, I mean, especially with Everton, just really is that the first goal they've conceded in the last 3 games?
Yeah, they've had a lot of clean sheets, man.
It was Arsenal 0-0, Chelsea 0-0, and then City 1-1.
Yep.
So
defenders did well again. The Everton defenders, if you got them, you start them. It sounds crazy, but you start them.
Yeah, we're back. And I remember a few weeks ago being like, oh, I don't know about this run that they have on. But then they've
held out. They've done their job. They haven't won games like we talked about, but they have got
That's
points.
fine, though.
Yeah.
We don't need them to win. I picked a Mikolenko in one league.
I saw that, and it's worked out for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Okay, next game. Newcastle 3, Villa 0. Oof. Villa's just been struggling.
Yeah, it's been up and down with them.
Had it. Yeah. I think the key things is Isak, 22.75 points, 7 goals in 5 games, last 5, and then 9 goal contributions in his last 5.
Yep. If he stays fit, man, he's crazy, that guy. He's on a tear.
So is that how many goals does he have total then?
I don't know how many goals he got total, but I think it might be close to 9 or 10 because I don't think he went off to the biggest start. You know what I mean? But these last 5 have definitely pushed him up there.
Yeah, let's look. I'm looking at this overview. 11 total. That's in all different. That's not just in the Premier League. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not going to be just the Premier League.
I know. Maybe that is just the Premier League. Yeah, Premier League season stats.
Really?
11 goals, 4 assists. Does that sound right?
That's really good.
That's really good.
It's really good.
I mean, do you think? I mean, at this rate, he's going to be. What is he ranked as far as strikers go right now?
I think we said he was in the top 10.
Oh,
he's played
easy
2
top
less
10
games, and he's played 2 less games than everybody else.
Forwards 4th, overall 7th.
Wow.
Yep, he's elite.
Yeah, he is, and I said he's world class. But again, this Villa team, though, we're going to go with it. Like Joe Linton had a good game, but I wouldn't hold too much. That doesn't hold too much water. We see him all season go up and down, but he had 22.75 in this.
Gordon's quietly been good too. I think this is his third or fourth game in a row of double digits. Like nothing like nothing north of like 25, but all in that really,
but solid
14 to 20. Like that's what you want. Murphy, even though he didn't score this game, he had another solid game. I think he had an assist, so that put him in the teens as well. So those are just, I mean, there's a lot of players that are scoring for them, and we always talk about like kind of riding the lightning. This is a team where you can do that.
You definitely with the offensive players for sure.
Yeah, and even the defensive players too. I mean, you look at Newcastle's last few results.
Well, that's right.
A 3-0 against Villa, a 4-0 against Ipswich, a 3-1 against Brentford, a 4-0 against Leicester. Like their last 4 games, they've conceded 1 goal.
It's great. It's a lot of clean sheet points.
Yeah, exactly. So, like guys like Dan Burn and players like that, and even like a sneaky one, like like it obviously didn't work this week, but like Trippier's got the start to last. And that's a guy, even though it didn't work out, like that might have been a smart start.
It might have been, and it fills you with confidence for the next game if you have Lewis Hall or one of those. You know what I mean?
Truly. And then I think the big talking point was like Duran got started again. Yeah, I don't think anyone suspected. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't either, but he ain't gonna be starting the next game.
Yep, that red card. What did you feel? I feel like that was not a red. Game's gone.
Game's gone.
Game's gone.
Yeah.
No, fully.
I'm sorry. Did you even in the little still picture of his foot? Not red.
It's just you're running full speed and there's like bodies are colliding, and he had no intention of stomping on him like that. No. It happened, but it's not. It wasn't a loss of control. I just felt like that was just kind of sad.
No, you're right. Game's gone. Sometimes VAR just gets it completely off. But he'll be missing 3 games?
If it's a straight red,
3 games. So that's
what did they say today that the appeal got denied to?
It got rejected. Yep. I know. I was surprised. I thought he was going to get, and then it wouldn't.
Yeah.
But Watkin owners are going to be happy. I can tell you that. No, I'm one of them, and he needs to get a fucking start.
I mean, is there something on Watkins?
He's just not on form.
Know?
I just don't think he's on form.
You think that's all it is?
I think that's all it is. He's not on form. He ain't scoring. He ain't getting the assists like he did last season. And Duran has just been the guy who's been scoring. So Duran earned his place, and now he's lost it. And hopefully he's hoping, honestly, that Watkins doesn't do too much so he can just slot back in.
Yeah, tough one.
Yeah.
Tough one. Better days ahead for Villa, but still just not quite that dominant force they were last year.
No.
And so we'll see.
I think Europe really stumped them.
I mean, you saw it with Newcastle last. You saw it with Newcastle. It seems like that's a big step for a lot of these teams.
And you think they would have had the depth too, because they got Barkley and a couple other players in there. And I think they should have kept what's his name from last season, the winger that they sold to Diaby. They should have kept him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Villa, there's 2 things going on. One is that there's been a little bit of disappointment with Bailey, obviously. We've talked about that a lot. And then Ramsey hasn't quite stepped into that role. They got rid of Diaby.
Yep.
And then the other thing is that the coach, Emery, is just not rotating players a lot.
No,
I think if you are going to be in Europe, you need to be rotating more than he has been.
He doesn't trust the rest of his team.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. But yeah, Diaby would have been nice. I mean, that was one of the ones it was sad to see him go because he was such an exciting player. Then to have him go to Saudi Arabia just felt like a waste of joy for the rest of us. All right, next game: Wolves 2, United 0. Man.
Well, look, they're coming up. Man United's coming against a Wolves team that's coming in with a new manager, and now they've got 2 wins on the bounce with 2 clean sheets. You know what I mean? Well, we knew Wolves were playing well before this. It was just defensively. Like, have you seen the formation they're playing?
Yeah.
It's a nice formation. 4-3-2. I think it's like 4-4-4.
3-4-2. I think it's like a 3-4-2-1.
Yes. And the way it's got more in the middle, so it's more solid. But then they put Cunha in that 10 role, and he's just thriving in it. So
yeah, he might be the best player of the year as far as where he was going in drafts to what his return is. He might be up there as far as consistency. I mean, after this game, he's probably one of the top-ranked players. I mean, he already was one of the top-ranked players of the season, but I think now it's even more so.
You're insane if you trade him, I'll be honest, at this point. You're insane.
Well, I mean, I traded him a month and a half
ago,
but it was
before.
Well, I traded him thinking he surely can't maintain this level
for a whole season.
Yeah. But I think the concern with Cunha is the same concern with Isak, where it's health. There's been Cunha's missed a lot of time over the years. But now Cunha's sitting on 3rd place over total fantasy points with 284.25. But surpassed Bukayo Saka. So pretty crazy.
And he's only going to go further now with him being out for 2 months. So
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I think that you call it out at Semedo and at Nori. I think that we've always liked them. I mean, I know you and I have.
Mm-hmm.
We've both loved at Nori, and I think Semedo we've kind of liked. But I think even more so now with this new manager, it seems like there's really something there.
This formation really works for them. They go really high up that line. They get into really good attacking positions. They can either get you an assist, or I know he's already shown it where he's got a goal. Semedo had a goal to an assist taken away to Strand Larsen this game. It was Strand Larsen just went too far ahead of him. But there's so many opportunities there for these two. So I think it's going to be great. If you want to pick up defenders or you want to try to trade somebody, I think you can get something good for something small for these two players.
Yeah. I also think the other thing is that since that new coach came in, they've had 2 clean sheets. They beat Leicester 3-0 and they beat United 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
So
clean.
I'm not saying there's going to be a clean sheet next week because it looks like they play Tottenham and that game just
high
is like guaranteed no clean sheets, but there's something there for sure.
Yeah.
Fernandez 2 yellows, 3rd red of the season.
It's just ruining his season with these reds, man.
I mean, at what point does the coach maybe not play him or make some sort of statement? It just feels...
Well, he's already done that with Rashford and Garnacho. Like, this is Fernandez, who's meant to be the leader of this team. And honestly, Amarin didn't even pay him no mind when he walked down the fucking tunnel. Didn't even acknowledge him. So that just... Amarin, at this point, I think Amarin's just literally observing all these players and seeing who he wants to keep and who's going to work. And who... This is basically like a test for next season. So, I don't know. You can get a lot for Fernandez, if I can be honest.
Would you try and trade Fernandez or would you trade for Fernandez?
If I had Fernandez, I'd try to trade him out if I could. I know you said that you think Odegaard's stock will go down, but I would try to trade Fernandez for Odegaard. I still think Odegaard has more chance of getting more points than Fernandez, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, we've talked about it. I have Odegaard, and I think the Bruno Fernandes owner might be open to making a trade. And I don't know. I don't quite trust Fernandes after this, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna hold.
I would. All
right, next game: Chelsea 1, Fulham 2. The ultimate Robin Hood team. Fulham continues to steal from the rich. They haven't been giving as much to the poor, though. They're getting a little greedy.
Yeah, now they're getting greedy. They are playing Bournemouth next week. So I'm hoping we'll see.
But Bournemouth's not quite poor. Bournemouth's like middle class.
They're still, they're middle class.
I will say this game, though, yeah, something like that. I will say this game, though, Chelsea was in control for most of it. They just kind of they lost their heads at the end. So it's a bummer. But that's like Chelsea as a young team, they need to learn how to kill games. Yeah. And this is what happens in the Premier League if you don't kill a game.
Yeah. True.
So is what it is. Palmer's goal is amazing.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. He's
the real deal.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's having the crazy. And I think they're undertaking his season this season because of what he did last year. Well, you got to remember, last year he had a lot more penalties. This year he's scoring a lot more screamers.
Yeah, and I mean that goal is all him, and like I honestly feel like he's kind of having not the best season. He's still like amazing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's some games where he hasn't quite influenced it as much and stuff, but it's still just when he does, it's like holy cow.
Yeah, fucking what a player.
But I think Chelsea should be a little concerned. It's 1 goal in 2 games. Mm-hmm. You know, they've scored. That's not for the highest attacking team in the league, quote unquote. They've kind of seemed to hit a little bit of a roadblock. Yeah, maybe bring back Madueke. Apparently he got in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Is he?
For being late.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, so shit, man. That's something to keep an eye on.
The amount of traffic to try and get in that parking lot for the training ground, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Muniz got a goal, so he scored about 15 points, but he came on as a sub because Raul Jimenez started. It'd be interesting to see if Muniz starts getting starts, though, if he continues to contribute off the bench.
Yeah, Raul's been a little bit quiet.
He's been a little quiet. That might be a sneaky one. I think they ultimately want to run with Muniz too because he's younger. You know,
that was always the case.
That might be a sneaky kind of one to consider picking up as like a speculative guy if you have some room in your bench.
Yeah.
They play. Who do they play next? They play. You just said they play Bournemouth next. Mm-hmm. So yeah, interesting spot.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah. And then next game, Leicester 1, Liverpool 3. Leicester gave Liverpool a bit of a scare with an early goal.
Up real quick, man. Real quick.
What's that? There's that. Oh, go ahead.
I just said Liverpool's that team that they can go 1-0 down. I'm not even fucking worried if I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm not even fucking worried. Yeah, it could be the 80th minute. Feels like the 80th minute. I'm not even worried. They'll score.
Yeah, I think the only way you're going to beat him is if you kind of score late. Like, I think Leicester scored way too early to have any chance in this game. You know what I mean? Unless if you can keep it close until like the 70th, 80th minute, and then you can nick a goal. That's just like the only way to beat these guys.
I really think I'm gonna start calling Salah Thanos. I'm gonna start calling him. Thanos.
He is inevitable.
Throws down the fucking hammer all day.
So at 22 points, goal, and probably best player in the league. I think you have to say
he's definitely got the minerals. Yeah.
I mean, he's the highest scored player, but he's also, I think, without a doubt, you can just say he's the best player. Like, you know, like sometimes those two things don't translate one for one, but I think in this circumstance, you can say best player in the league.
Fucking
without a doubt. Yeah, it's crazy they haven't. Gakpo 29.5. He was the high scoring player of the week with a goal and an assist. You have a note saying the player Keefe wanted last season. Yeah, I wanted him season 2 early.
He was like he was like undertone last season, but this season he's still not doing what we thought he's doing. But he has more. I think he's having more moments.
I think he's really growing into it. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think the Liverpool attack's a little bit of a headache though, right? Because even Luis Diaz isn't getting all the starts unless you have Salah. Everyone else it's pretty fluid.
Well, if I'm be honest, when they do start, doesn't matter who it is, they get points. Yeah. So absolutely, that's the good thing. It's not like you're like thinking they're never going to get back in there because if anyone is rotating, it's Arne Slot.
There's plenty of rotation. You're right. That is the good thing, but that's also it's like you have to be on it for every game, and you have to have a contingency plan if one of your guys doesn't start. Yeah, you know what I mean. You have to be like, okay, if this, then this. Like if this guy doesn't start, I have this guy that's going to come. Or sometimes you might just. Yeah, sometimes you might just be like, I need to start this other guy because I can't guarantee that my guy's going to start.
Yeah, and it's not always going to be the best player that you want to have either. So it's not always like, you know, but I hear you because I have Luis Diaz. I know the feeling. Yeah.
I think the only kind of Arsenal one, the most noteworthy thing, other than that was a boring game. That was just like ugly. They're so unconvincing to me, even when they win. The biggest thing is that Saka, it's kind of rumored that's going to be out for at least 2 months. So what? Jesus, Trossard, Martinelli, stock up. Yeah. If you had to pick one of the three, who do you pick? That you would want?
I want to say Martinelli, but I think it's going to be fucking Trossard. No, not Trossard. I think it's going to be Trossard who's going to start. Martinelli's going to be the left. But if Jesus can get a run of games in and he can do what he did the last 2 games, then maybe Jesus. But I think it's Trossard. Has to be Trossard.
I think it's Trossard too. I think if I had to pick one, gun to my head, I wouldn't really want any of them. It just seems like a headache. Yeah. But and it's not like they're scoring at times. It's not like they're like this. It's not like Liverpool. Like Liverpool's a good problem to have. Arsenal would not be a good problem to have.
No, you want to have Gabriel because it's set piece fucking SC. So
yeah, exactly. You know clean sheet set pieces. Yep,
that's it.
Kind of on that. No, like we've kind of what we were saying in the last episode. It feels like, especially in these congested fixtures, defenders are the players to have during these weeks. You know, especially center backs. Especially now with what we've talked about, it just seems like the center backs are getting all these designed plays for them to score. Yeah. So yeah, this seems like they're the way to be. And just calling out a few things here is Doherty from Tottenham, right?
From Wolves.
Is he loaned? He's on Wolves now.
Wolves. Huh? Yeah.
Because he's playing in a back 3, so he's playing as a center back and like the right side center back in the back 3. So he's had 3 double-digit games in the last 4 games, and he's only 11% owned. Yeah, that's a sneaky one, and that's the type of one where it might take some people a while to even have the stomach or the cojones to pick up Wolves defenders because they've been so bad for most of the season.
Most of the season, but if you go by the last 2 games and you see how they go, and he's playing in the centre back role, if they get a couple clean sheets, and he's the one in that back 3 that actually pushes up more than the other 2, so could work out.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. And then Totti, 2 double-digit games, 4% owned. I mean that coincides with the clean sheets, right?
Exactly.
And then I kind of before the next one, I want to call out. I want to pat us on the back just for our waiver wire from last week. We had a pretty good hit rate. We had 5 names on the list. Dean Huijsen, chill guy. He was a hit. Anthony Elanga, we called that one. He scored a goal. That was a hit.
That was all you, man.
Gonzalo Guedes from Wolves was a miss. Dubravka, another clean sheet for Newcastle, another double-digit game for them. And then Curtis Jones too was the last one, and he scored a goal as well.
Yes,
so,
he did.
Pretty good week for us in that sense.
We did
so we just
waivers
talk about
and on
Huijsen.
parlays.
Yeah, it was good. Huijsen 17.25 after back-to-back games of pretty high scores. So he's going to creep up. I think he'll probably by the end of this coming weekend, I have a feeling he'll be owned over 50%.
Yep, I agree.
I think he's there. Then his center back partners also had a bunch of 4 double-digit games in the last 5. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Zambanya. I picked him up and he fucking helped me out this week. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And then Castagna from Fulham, 2 double-digit games in a row, has 5 favorable matchups, 32% owned. That's another really good one.
Yep.
Nico Williams, that's interesting. 2 double-digit games, 26% owned.
Yep.
And then one that's not waiver, but I just want to shout out was there's some rumors that Milos Krikes might go to United in January.
Really?
As the left back, because United really need a left wing back. And Milos Krikes could be good.
That'd be great for United. That'd be bad for Bournemouth.
Yeah, he'd be a miss. But I think United would pay 30+ mil, right? 40 mil?
You have to, yeah, at least 40. In January, we always pay more in January. Always.
You always pay more in January, yes.
Always.
So, that's an interesting one. So I would say that might be a nice speculative trade because I think his stock goes up at United, but maybe not. I don't know.
It's Man United. I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Look at Wan-Bissaka. He left Man United, and all of a sudden he looks like a fucking Brazilian on that right back role.
He does look pretty good. It is just kind of that thing. It is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Anyone else we want to talk about off the top of your head?
Jed Spence, Tottenham's in a bit of trouble. He got a red card also this week.
Is Udogie back?
Udogie's back, but Porro isn't. So, and nor's Ben Davies. So we're probably going to play fucking some random person at right back. So that's why I think that Wolves-Sunderland game is going to be a goal fest.
I think it will be too.
Yeah.
But Wolves have been pretty good about not conceding, but I think you come up against the Tottenham team. They
don't care you score 10 against us. As long as we score 1, we win.
Yeah. Something to shout out too that we didn't talk about in that City game. We always talk about Savio, that if he starts, you play him. And enough, played the full 90, scored 20 points, drew the penalty that Holland missed.
Yeah.
So pretty good. What do you think about some of these Brighton players? Like Brajan Gruda scored 17.5 points. Do you see someone that you're interested in, Gruda?
You know what, they've been bringing in these players that I didn't even know was on their roster. You notice that? Like Balaba,
yeah.
I think they got some, but they show up for 1 or 2 games and then they disappear. So that's why I've been staying away from the Brighton players, because besides Matoma,
Minta,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Minta looks so good at the start of the season, and I just haven't barely seen him.
No, he hasn't come up on the stat sheet. You know what I mean? So, even Balaba in the middle, he came up really good for a couple games and disappeared. And this new kid showed up out of nowhere, and he was good. And then he got injured, and now Balaba's back. But nothing, you know what I mean? There's nothing solid from that Brighton team, not for me at least.
Yeah. Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left. We're just trying to do a short one. Let's just talk about some of the matchups for round 19. It's kind of a weird week because there's no games Saturday, games Sunday, games Monday, and then 1 game Wednesday.
There's no game Tuesdays, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a whole new game week.
I think it's a whole new game week. I think that some of the interesting ones is Crystal Palace Southampton.
Yep.
I'm interested to see just in if Palace can bounce back with Eze back fully fit, and what they kind of do. I think Everton Nottingham Forest will be interesting too. It could be a really boring game, but it's like because so much of what Forest does is defend and then counter.
Yep.
And what Everton love to do is just defend.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be interesting. Fulham Bournemouth. I think one thing, Everton Forest. I'm starting every defender I can get my hands on for that game. Everton Forest
on both sides.
On both
sides. They're Aina, Murillo, fucking Young, Milenko, all of them. They're all good. Especially if it's a 0-0 draw, they're all scoring double digits with ease.
Yeah. Fulham Bournemouth. I think that's going to be high scoring. Tottenham Wolves. I think that'll be high scoring.
Mm-hmm. Boring game of the week. I think it's going to be Aston Villa Brighton.
boring game of the week?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the boring game of the week.
Really? Yeah, maybe. I mean, Villa's just been so fickle. It just really depends on what Villa shows up.
Yeah.
If they roll over, if they put in a good performance. I think Chelsea, this is a really good get-right game for them after that's tough loss. I mean, we'll see what happens because they're a bunch of kids and you don't really know how they're going to react to something like that. But you hope that they just really like step up and do it. Game of the week is probably this United-Newcastle game.
Yeah.
Man United versus Newcastle.
Definitely. It could be either a great game going backwards and forth. I think Newcastle beats Man United. That's how it's going.
I think you kind of have to say that, right? I mean, Newcastle's won the last 4 on the bounce. They've conceded 1 goal in the last 4. United's just been limping.
Yeah, they've just been limping.
That'll be interesting. There's not many United players I'm starting. Bruno's not in.
No, Bruno's not playing.
Really start on the United team.
Just Ahmad.
United, you're all systems go. Newcastle United, all systems go.
All of them.
Manchester United, I don't really know who you're starting on that team that you feel good about starting.
Only Ahmad. And even Ahmad, he has to get an assist or a goal for it to be an outstanding game.
Like, I have Onana, and, like, I think it's time for me to drop him. I'm done.
I'm surprised you haven't dropped it yet. What are you doing?
I'm stubborn. What can I say? Then wrapping up the week, Brentford Arsenal.
Ooh.
I don't see that going. I mean, where is it at home or away? At the GTAC.
It's at the GTAC.
At the GTAC.
You know what? And Brentford's at home. I know they lost their last game at home. They're plus 475. That might be a good single game to go on. Yeah, me too.
That might be a good thing. Okay. We said no bets this week, but we might do that one.
Just the one game.
We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah.
We'll announce it on Twitter if we do it. But that's it. Okay, that's kind of all we got. Anything else you want to chat about, Enzo? Or we
miss you, Tico. But we'll see you we'll see you in a few days. But yeah, man. I'm still top and I'm second. Just let everyone know that. Just
things are not good.
It's bloody amazing.
I gotta win. You beat Sergey, so now I'm back in third. I'm not in fourth anymore. I'm back on the podium.
You're welcome.
So I also
give to the poor.